Hi everyone, I'm Moody Boo, the Fragrant Nomad, and thank you for joining me. If you feel like it, you can always hit that like button and maybe subscribe and ding that bell if you so choose. If not, it's all good. Anyway, I'm back with another single perfume review, and this is my second or third dive into the house of Aaron Terence Hughes. This one was sent to me by somebody. I bought a perfume secondhand from somebody. I think it was on Poshmark, and they sent a bunch of samples and little small minis and things like that. And this is one that they sent. And at first I was like, "Meow, I'll check that one out last." I mean, I have Slut, and I like it. It's good. It's interesting, really interesting. But I never really fell in love with it. Oxytocin was a little slow burn as well. It took me several wearings before I was like, wait a minute now. This is something I'm kind of into. The more I wore it, the more I was into it. And now I'm crazy about it. I'm going to, as soon as this gets down very low, I'm going to pop for a full bottle. No problem. It's so good. And I just looked at the notes. I have never looked at the notes before until just before recording this video. And my first take on it was a very rose oud kind of a perfume, a sweet rose oud. And that's pretty much what it is. But there's more to it than that. But I've worn it a lot more since I recorded that video talking about how it's a rose oud perfume, that a review is coming shortly. And man, I have really discovered some lovely, lovely nuances with this thing since then. It was like wearing 12, 11, and 13 that I realized, wow, there's a lot more to it than just sweet rose oud. And I'll tell you what's in it. Oxytocin is Turkish rose, sweet chocolate, spices, tonka bean tincture, Madagascan vanilla, tree moss, patchouli, musk, Thai oud, and ethical ambergris. Or is it ambergris? I think it's ambergris. Anyway, and that just means beach found. No whales were killed in order to get the ambergris. It was just found on a beach somewhere. And in fact, I never understood why you would kill whales for ambergris anyway, because it just smells like donkey shit when it first comes out of the whale. It's a black tarry secretion that they make in order to encapsulate giant squid beaks. The only thing they can't digest, other sharp things, it's like a pearl and an oyster. It starts with a piece of sand and it becomes a pearl because the oyster just adds layer over layer of it in order to protect itself from getting all cut up. And it's the same kind of thing with the whale, is that it makes this black tarry substance to coat sharp objects in its digestive system so that it can then throw them all up, and then they float along in the ocean. And the thing is that they're not good. It's not good. It doesn't smell good. It's not a beautiful thing when it first comes out of the whale. It's like mouth poop, basically. It's got to go in the ocean, and all that bacteria in the ocean and the salt water and the sun, it's got to be on the ocean for years before, you know, it washes ashore and somebody walks by and says, that is the most fragrant rock I've ever seen. And you know, the older it is, usually the better it is. As I understand it, the white and the kind of yellowish golden kind of colors are the best, or something like that. The darker they are, probably the more fresh they are, and so they don't have quite that beautiful aroma that they do after they've been floating on the ocean for many years. So anyway, I don't understand what the problem with beach-bound ambergris is. I just don't. I don't understand why we can't, if we find a chunk in Hawaii, why we can't keep it or sell it. I don't get it. But, you know, I don't know all the nuances to the environmental issues with that, so I should just shut my mouth and not worry about it. What I didn't detect in the first 10 times that I wore it was some of the gourmand notes that are in there, like the chocolate, the tonka bean, the spices. That came later. At first, I was just really, really smelling the rose oud. It was really hard for me to dive deeper past those two notes because they're so prominent to me the first several times I wore it. But then I kept wearing it, and then I'd notice that I would just wave my hand past my face, and it almost smells like spicy vanilla or something, like a spicy vanilla and a little patchouli or something in there. I was starting to really detect the nuances to this. And that's when I got real excited about it and amped up my testing of it just to make sure I wasn't having olfactory hallucinations or anything. And I was right, because there it is, the sweet chocolate, the spices, the tonka bean, vanilla, patchouli. And they're subtle. The rose and the oud are definitely the main stars throughout the entire wearing. But it's like you just get whispers of these gourmand notes and a little bit of that ambergris and patchouli, that earthiness that really anchors it. It keeps it from smelling like every other rose oud perfume out there. And I've smelled so many of them. I was really into oud. It was one of those obsessive notes that I had. I go through stages where I pick a note and I become very obsessed with it for a while. And oud, I went through a long one. It was like a couple of years. And so I smelled a lot of rose oud. And because of that, because they all smelled so similar, I kind of got out of them. And I'm just now starting to get back into adoring some rose oud perfumes. It's lovely. I'm going to spray some more on. Yeah, it's a sweet rose with a hint of watery. It's not entirely creamy. There's a hint of watery with the creaminess in that rose. And the oud has a hint of sour to it. But because there's enough sweetness at the beginning to balance that sour, it's a really lovely combination. And definitely, it's not long after you spray it where the patchouli starts to come out a little bit of the salty ambergris kind of comes in there a little bit too. But it's after it dries down, after about an hour, where I get this spicy chocolate. It's almost like, well, I don't know. I don't know that I've had Mexican chocolate. As I understand it, that's like a spicy, a really delicious, spicy dark chocolate. But I have had spicy dark chocolate. But I don't know that it was necessarily from Mexico. And it was really good, really, really good. Having that bite with the sweet, but dark chocolate isn't as sweet as milk chocolate. So it's a little more subtle. It has a little more bitter to it. And with the spices and that vanilla in there to add to that chocolate, it's wonderful with that rose and oud. And like I said, then you get the patchouli and the ambergris really anchoring it, and it's a really dynamic perfume. I am really, really enjoying this one. Now, the problem is with Slut is that my husband was allergic to it. I think Aaron Terence Hughes uses a lot of natural ingredients, and my husband has pretty severe allergies to some of them, so I can't wear Slut. Now, I have been testing this and wearing it around him, and he doesn't seem to be triggered. He really has an acute attack with perfume if I'm wearing a perfume that bothers him, and I have not seen that, and he has not said that. So I'm thinking this one, whatever ingredients and notes that he uses in this one is okay, and I'm very happy because I like this one much more than Slut. Oh, it's really lovely. Very unisex, of course, rose oud. It couldn't be anything but unisex, in my opinion. And as far as the performance, wow, got a little lost there. I don't know why. It's old age. Anyway, it lasts for me with 2 to 3 sprays, and you can overspray this because it projects really well the first hour or two, and then it comes pretty close to the skin, like elbow's length or something. So it's not an offensive kind of a perfume where it's just crazy. Some of those rose oud perfumes are so loud for so long that you can barely wear them anywhere unless you just do 1 spray under your clothes, you know. This is not that. This one I do 2 sprays, sometimes 3, because with this particular one, I found that it does help it last a little bit longer. So instead of getting 7 hours, I get more like 8 hours with 3 sprays. And it doesn't have that bite to it that really sour, intense bite that some rose oud perfumes have. But yet it isn't as smooth as some of the other ones, other oud perfumes. Like, what am I thinking of? Tom Ford's, his famous one, his famous oud, it's been around for years. Oh my God, I can't remember. No, it's not coming to me. And then there's another one. Oh my God. Oh, Oud Ispahan. It's okay. I shouldn't even attempt this today. Apparently, I'm having a bad language day, bad word day. Oud Ispahan, right? From, isn't it Dior? I really like that one. I never popped for a full bottle, but it's really smooth. It's very professional oud, and so is Tom Ford's, in my opinion. They got a lot of other woody notes in there. It's not very sweet, and they just smell very professional, very formal to me. This one has more edge to it. Of course, Aaron Terence Hughes, if you've ever watched any of his videos on YouTube, you know that the man has some edge. So, and this has that, but it's pulled back. He showed restraint where he could have gone really wackadoo with it. He didn't. He kept it in a it's interesting, it's unique, it smells wonderful, it's a bit gourmandy, it's a little bit of that classical sour, sweet and sour rose oud combo, and that chocolate spice patchouli combo is lovely in it. I just can't even get over it. So, very unisex. Of course, I said that already. I'm repeating myself. Another thing with old age. And it lasts, like I said, about 7-8 hours, depending on how many sprays. It goes past arm's length, I think, if I do 3 sprays that first hour, but then comes in about arm's length for another hour or 2, and then about elbow's length. And that's where it stays until it's gone. This is, I think it could be a formal perfume with 1 or 2 sprays for nighttime. I don't think it's a daytime perfume at all. Some rose oud perfumes, even the Tom Ford and the Dior, you could probably, because it is so formal, you could wear it during the day. This one, like I said, the edges, I think, keep that from happening. But yet, it has enough general interest and attraction that I don't think you'd have any problem wearing it in a multitude of scenarios. Whether that be clubbing, you know, that word again, or out, besides just fun, festivities, you know, with family and friends. It could be a frisky perfume, depends on what your frisky partner likes. It's not a frivolous perfume though. It has a lot of dynamic to it. It has levels, it has layers. And I just find it to be a little more sophisticated than I would put in the frivolous category of just, you know, that's where the candy floss perfumes and things like that go to. So anyway, fabulous stuff. It's just mid-range in Europe. I think with the conversion to USD, it might be right around the $200 mark for I think it's 100 ml. I don't think he sells 50s. I think it's just the 10 and the 100. So I don't know if you know, probably everybody knows, but he started off as a perfume reviewer on YouTube, as I understand it. And then started making perfumes, kind of like Steven from Redolescence and Pete from Centauri Perfumes, you know. So mad respect for people that do that. This is becoming a love. It's really, it started off as a huh, then went to a hey, and now it's a what? Loving it. So hope you check it out. And I always like to encourage you guys to check out independent perfume houses, because Tom Ford has enough money. So does Guerlain. I'm just saying. So there's a lot of houses out there that could really use your support, and their perfumes are as good, if not better, a lot of times. That has been proven to me time and time again. I mean, I've got 4 Etsy perfumes on that shelf back there that at least 3 of them are probably going to be on my desert island. So amazing stuff, the independent perfumers. So, all right, well, that's it. I know I'm going on and on and on. I guess it feels like I have a talkative day, even though I can't talk. So thanks again for being here. I hope you come back. I'm going to do a haul video because I keep talking about these perfumes that I just got that I want to do a review on. So I thought, why are you breaking it up like that? Why don't you just do one big haul video? And I've only got about a dozen, I think about a dozen bottles in this haul video, because I got a lot of perfumes in this haul that you may not have heard of them or the house or anything, because I like checking out new houses. I don't like just getting too, unless it's an El de Soleani. Let's be real. That's different. I'm obsessed with her. Anyway, if it's not an El de, then yeah, I like to spread the love and the money. So, okay, thank you again for being here, and I'll see you soon. And don't forget to like and subscribe and ring the bell and comment if you want. If you don't, it's all good. I still love you. And use your own nose. Peace.